Heartland Ranch is a place of healing, memories, and unsaid stories where the wind whispers through the long grass. However, something is different this morning. A change has occurred. A recognizable person appears out of the shadows as the sun rises over the landscape. Amy's heart also skips a beat. Is that him? Returning from the brink of the past is Ty Borden. It has never been more difficult to navigate the path of love and grief. However, everything Amy has clung to seems to be falling apart right now, bringing with it a wave of feelings. And nothing will ever be the same when Ty returns to the world they used to inhabit. With her hands moving slowly and almost methodically, Amy stands by herself in the barn, brushing down a horse. Apart from the gentle sounds of the animals and the cadence of her actions, which are based on regularity, the barn is silent. Her thoughts, however, are far from resolved. She can't seem to get rid of the weight that her heart, still sensitive from the scars of the past, bears. She has learned to cope with the lingering quiet anguish, but she will never completely forget. It's in the quiet that envelops each work she completes by herself. Where Ty's laughter once filled the air, where he used to stand next to her. She's come a long way since his death. Heartland has been her anchor through it all, her family, the ranch, the animals. But there's still a hole, a gap no amount of work or time could fill. Ty was a part of her, as much a part of the land as the soil beneath her feet. The steady brushing motion slows as her eyes wander over the familiar space. A soft sigh escapes her lips, and she pauses, lost in her thoughts. The memories flood her mind, each one more vivid than the last. Ty's smile, the warmth of his embrace, the way they built this life together. The grief, though distant now, is still there, quietly lingering like a shadow she can't quite shake. Off. It's not that she hasn't moved on, it's just that some parts of the past never truly leave you. Not when they were such an important part of shaping who you are now. She lets out another quiet sigh, her hand coming to rest against the horse's coat. She's grateful for the animals, for the work, for the small moments of peace. But she knows deep down that she's never fully healed. There's still that ache in her chest, a tug at her heart that will always be there. And no matter how much time passes or how much life changes, that piece of her heart that belonged to Ty will always be a part of her. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps on the gravel outside catches her attention. Amy freezes for a moment, her breath catching in her throat. She knows that walk. She knows that sound. She looks up, her pulse quickening. Could it be? Her heart beats faster, and she steps toward the door, almost afraid to open it. What if it's just a dream? What if she's imagining it? But as she opens the door, her eyes widen in disbelief. There, standing just outside the stable, is Ty. It's him. Ty, in the flesh. The man she thought she'd lost forever is standing, there, alive, looking at her with the same familiar warmth in his eyes. The world seems to stop for a moment. Time stands still. Amy blinks, her heart racing. Ty, is that really you? Her voice trembles, as though she's unsure whether to believe her own eyes. The man standing before her is the man she loved, the man she lost. And yet he's so much more than a memory. Now he's here. But how? Ty's face is older, worn in some ways, yet still undeniably him. He doesn't speak right away. Instead, he takes a step toward her, slowly, as if giving her time to process the reality of his return. He reaches out, and without saying a word, offers his hand, a simple gesture that means everything. The emotions hit her all at once: shock, disbelief, joy, and an overwhelming sense of relief. She wants to run to him, to hold him, but she's rooted to the spot. She can't quite wrap her mind around it. Ty is here, but it feels almost too good to be true. The air feels heavy now, thick with a silence that stretches between them. Amy stands frozen in the doorway, her breath shallow, eyes wide with disbelief. She can hardly process what's happening. The man standing before her isn't just someone she once loved. He's someone she thought was lost forever. Ty's presence feels unreal. like a ghost pulled from the past suddenly materializing before her eyes. The memories of him are so vivid, but she never expected to see him again. Not like this. Ty's gaze is steady, though. There's a vulnerability in his eyes that wasn't there before. He's changed. She can see that in an instant. The years, the hardships, they've left their mark on him. There's a tiredness about him, a weight he's carrying that wasn't there when he left. But despite it all, there's still that undeniable spark, the same warmth, the same gentleness that made him who he was, the man she loved. I don't know what to say, Amy finally whispers, her voice thick with emotion. Her hands tremble at her sides and she takes a tentative step forward, unsure if she's dreaming or if this is really happening. She's torn between rushing to him and holding back, afraid that if she gets too close, it will all slip away. Ty doesn't speak immediately. Instead, he watches her closely, his expression unreadable, yet filled with so many unsaid words. Then, after what feels like an eternity, he steps forward, slowly, cautiously. He doesn't rush. He's giving her space. But it's clear he wants to be close. He stops just a few feet away from her, and for a moment, everything feels frozen. The world outside the barn seems to fall away. I never meant for you to go through that alone, Ty says quietly, his voice rough, as if the weight of the years has settled deep into his chest. I never wanted to leave you, but I had to find myself, Amy. I had to figure out who I was, without you, without this place. Amy feels a lump form in her throat. His words hit her harder than she expected. She always knew that Ty had struggled, had needed to find his own way after everything that happened. But hearing him speak it out loud, admitting his pain, makes it all so much more real. The hurt, the loss, the time apart. She swallows hard, trying to find the right words, but they're stuck in her chest. You left me, Ty. You left us. You left Lindy. Ty's face falls and he lowers his gaze to the ground. I know, and I'm so sorry for that. More than you'll ever understand. The sincerity in his voice is palpable, but it doesn't erase the years, the distance, the hurt. Amy wants to believe him. She wants to trust that this is real, that he's truly back. But there's so much to process, so much she's been through, without him. She's not the same person she was before he left, and neither is he. She takes another step forward, her eyes never leaving his. You've missed so much, Ty. So much has changed. I've changed. Ty nods slowly, his expression softening. I can see that, he says. But I'm here now. And I want to be here, for you, for Lindy, for everything we left behind. There's a pause. And in that moment, Amy feels the old connection stir deep within her. It's undeniable, the love they shared, the bond they formed. It's still there, just buried beneath years of pain and loss. She can feel it, faint, but real. But even as she feels that familiar pull toward him, a part of her holds back. There's too much to reconcile, too much to untangle. The road ahead won't be easy. Not with the years that have passed, the things they've both experienced. She's learned to live without him, to carry on. But now, with him standing before her again, everything feels upended. I don't know if I can just pick up where we left off, Ty, Amy admits, her voice quiet but steady. It's been so long. Things have changed. Ty's eyes search hers, understanding written across his face. He doesn't push, doesn't demand answers. Instead, he gives her the space she needs, the space she's always needed, to process. I'm not asking you to go back to where we were, he says softly. I'm asking you to let me back into your life, to be part of it again, slowly. No pressure, just let me show you I can be the man I was meant to be. For you. Amy's heart aches. She wants to reach out, to hold him, to fall into the arms of the man she once knew. But it's not that simple anymore. Time has a way of changing things, and she's not the same person she was when he left. She's stronger now. She's learned to rely on herself, to face the world without him by her side. But even so, as she stands before him, she knows that the story between them isn't over. Not yet. There's still something here, something worth fighting for. Let's take it one step at a time, she finally says, her voice soft but resolute. I don't know what this means yet, but we'll figure it out. Ty's expression softens, relief flooding his features. He reaches out, taking her hand gently, his touch grounding her in the moment. And for the first time in years, Amy allows herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, there's hope for them after all.